Hey everyone, happy Monday, July 13th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, and let's get into the week ahead on the markets. And like always, today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more at amf-capital.de. Let's dive in. This week is shaping up to be one of the most important of the summer because we'll finally get fresh inflation data from the United States, and we'll also hear from some of the country's biggest banks. Now, the first major event comes on Tuesday when the government releases the latest consumer price index report for June. Inflation has been moving higher recently, with the previous reading showing prices rising by 4.2% compared to a year earlier, largely because of higher fuel prices. Investors will be watching closely to see whether that trend continues or whether inflation finally begins to cool again. The inflation report also matters because it could influence what the Federal Reserve does next. While Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh recently suggested that inflation pressures may be easing, a lot has changed since then, particularly after geopolitical tensions in the Middle East resurfaced. Warsh will also testify before Congress on Tuesday, giving markets another opportunity to hear his latest thoughts on inflation, interest rates, and the economy. Then, attention quickly shifts to earnings season. Several of the largest U.S. banks will report their second quarter results throughout the week. Investors won't just focus on profits. They'll also be listening carefully to what bank executives have to say about the outlook for initial public offerings, mergers and acquisitions, trading activity, and the overall health of the U.S. economy. Last quarter, most of the major banks delivered better than expected results, but their executives also warned about risks ranging from slower economic growth to continued uncertainty for capital markets. Despite those concerns, financial stocks have been among the strongest performers in the market recently. Strong loan growth, active capital markets, and continued excitement around artificial intelligence have all supported the sector, and many analysts believe that momentum could continue during the second half of the year. So, between inflation data, Federal Reserve commentary, and the start of earnings season, this could be another busy and potentially market-moving week. Alright, that's it for today's Capital Markets Quickie. If you found today's episode helpful, hit subscribe and stay in the loop. And if you want more insights, just add me on LinkedIn or Instagram, always happy to connect. See you tomorrow morning.